everybody, and welcome to an electric wild ride with Steve-O. We've got Faze Banks. I mean, he's arguably the king of esports, the founding father of the FazeClan. And man, the FazeClan has been up, been down, been back up, and it's really awesome how candid, how open, how vulnerable, how transparent old Faze Banks is. It's very, very juicy and compelling episode. So let's waste no time and get into it. Ladies and gentlemen, people of the universe, I bring to you Faze Banks.
Wow, it's such an honor to be here.
Dude,
honestly.
It's an honor to have you, man. You
guys are legendary. This bus is legendary. I'm excited. We've been trying to do this show for years now. It's coming on, right?
Right. Well, I reached out at one point. I was thrilled that you said that you would do it, and you had some kind of surgery going on.
Which is insane, too, because it's 8 a.m. right now. We're parked across the street in front of one of my neighbor's houses, and I do not do shows this early. I don't do podcasts.
I don't do anything this early.
No,
it's
same,
like 8
same.
in the morning.
I apologize for
it's
dragging
all
you guys.
good, man.
I'm getting my wisdom teeth taken out today. My neck's all fucked up. I mean, all things considered, this has been one of the best years of my life, and I can't wait to get into it with you guys. But something about this van and you guys, I'm going into surgery today. I couldn't you guys off again though, so we had to make it work.
Well, dude, thank you so much. What was the surgery last time around?
I don't know. What? Remind me.
Was it like a knee or something?
The last time we saw, I don't know if you guys saw each other before that, but we went to the Faze house that was right down the street from your old place.
Oh,
we walked through, so I don't know what year that was.
I know exactly what year it was. That was 2018. It was right when
which is fucking insane.
Keemstar made like a documentary series about Fousey.
Yeah. Okay.
He
was just losing his mind, going manic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Fousey was having some.
Was that around the time? I don't know. Then it might have been for my hand. I've broken my hand a couple times and had a couple surgeries on my hand. So,
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it might have been one of those.
That sounds about right. And dude, so we're finally doing it. And
thank God.
It's well, dude. I just really appreciate it, man. And the timing is so epic because, like, I don't know if you've heard anything about it, but like in the past, I've been like critical and just like a douche about video games, where I would say like, man, like I can't even believe people just like would waste their time just like with video games. Like, that's what's wrong with the world. I would say, like, if I had kids, I'd rather they smoke pot than play video games, you know? Like,
I missed that, but no.
Yeah. And like, it's just, it's so dumb. And, like, I've been on, like a world tour of acknowledging what a douche I was for saying that. And, like, to be able to say that to you as part of my mea culpa tour to the video game community is super meaningful.
Can I tell you guys a secret? I don't really play much these days.
Really?
Yeah, kind of the minute I had other outlets and other opportunities to do other shit, I kind of hopped off the video game thing. It's a funny part of my history, actually, is the whole video game bit, because I am, right? In your mind and in so many people's minds, I'm like the video game guy. But growing up, like Christmases and birthdays and stuff, I would ask for clothes and money, and my little brother was like the video game kid. Always had the new Xbox, GameCubes, Game Boys and shit. And I was in the same boat as you. I thought, what, this video game shit makes absolutely no sense. This kid would sit in front of a TV for hours on end, and it was far less appealing to me than like going outside and f***ing around with my friends and getting into trouble. It made a lot less sense to me until the online aspect, the PvP aspect came into play, where you could hop on the mic and talk shit and say insane, outlandish shit. That's kind of what dragged me into it. More specifically, Call of Duty. I was really good at it. It's always fun being really good at things. And yeah, it kind of took off after that.
Yeah, dude. And of course, anybody's going to think of you as a video game guy, but when I think of you, I think of just internet. Like, you kind of say that, like, the internet.
I like that.
And God,
We've been doing this for a long time. It's insane.
Yeah.
It's so insane.
What year did you start streaming?
I made my first YouTube video in 2008. Yeah,
Wow.
I was a sophomore or junior in high school, and I kept that little part of my life very much hidden from like my homies because I'm kind of I've always been me. I've always been into the same shit that I've been into. I've always kind of had the same habits and the same mannerisms and the same, I've always kind of behaved more or less the same as I do now. And in high school, I had a great high school experience. I hear so many people, especially people like kind of in my industry and in my market, talk about how miserable high school was. But I had a great experience. I was running around with the homies, drinking, getting fucked up, doing typical high school things. And I stumbled onto this like YouTube thing and made a little bit of money doing that, and it just had me hooked ever since.
2008 was when the first monetization. Well, I guess 2007 they introduced the monetization.
Is it?
program.
See, I didn't even know that. I love that you just said that. It makes perfect sense, though. Yeah, my first video actually did really, really well, and I don't know if this all would have happened the same way if it didn't. But I stumbled across this like hacking forum for Xbox 360, and I more or less jailbroke my Xbox and like unlocked all the achievements and cheated all the shit that you could cheat in the game. And I couldn't believe that it worked. And nowhere on YouTube existed like a tutorial step by step on how to do this. So I went to Radio Shack, bought a $15 mic, and made one myself. The video went kind of viral. It was like on the trending page, and at the time viral. I think the video amassed in the first couple weeks like 500,000-600,000 views, but in 2008,
It's a lot.
it's like a 10-20 million view video today. I got that email from Google, AdSense, PayPal.
Yeah.
The PayPal that I set up for that is still the same PayPal I use to this day, and I made like $500-600, and I grew up really, really broke, and that for me was like hitting the lottery. I couldn't fucking believe it. I blew it all on clothes or
So
whatever.
then you just dove in. And
Oh,
just made
yeah.
YouTube videos.
Yeah, it had me
constantly.
ultra hooked from that point on. And again, like that coupled with the fact that I was just naturally really good at like, Call of Duty, those two things, like, I don't know. Yeah, I was hitting the dopamine in all the right spots. And I've, for the first time in my life, felt like I had some sort of direction. I had some sort of passion outside of just, shit up with my friends. And yeah,
And then FazeClan starts in 2010.
yeah. That was, it feels like lifetimes in between those 2 years
Sure.
too. It's crazy. Like when I look back at that like era where I was like really sat in my room on my desk and just like doing this shit, it feels like a whole lifetime that I spent.
Where were you at that time?
Lowell, Mass.
Nice, dude.
Yeah. Lowell's a great place. Anybody that's ever seen the movie The Fighter, you guys ever seen the movie The Fighter?
Yeah.
Mark
Yeah.
Wahlberg, Christian Bale, yeah. Christian Bale, Dickie, shout out Dickie, his son. Little Dickie was one of my best friends growing up. That's crazy. It just popped up. Oh, someone's back there
Yeah.
fucking around. Yeah.
That's Alexa.
Lexa's killing it. Killing it.
So, dude, like, you've been sober for a while.
I have a year and a half.
Get a load of this. Faze Banks, clean and sober, more mature, evolved, a better version of himself. And what do people do when they become better versions of themselves? Well, they look out for their loved ones by getting life insurance. And if you go to policygenius.com/Stevo, then Policy Genius is going to give you a free quote so you can find out how much you can save. And spoiler alert, they've got policies that start for as little as $292 per year that come with a full $1 million worth of coverage. That's how you set up your loved ones for a future when maybe you're not around anymore. That's what responsible people do. And Policy Genius is the leader in this country for the online marketplace for insurance. It's the way to go. And one more time, if you go to policygenius.com/Stevo, then you get that free quote to find out how much you can save. So look out for your loved ones. Go to policygenius.com/Stevo, and let's get back to it. That's epic, man.
It's amazing. It's insane. It's changed everything for me. It's been the best year and a half of my whole life.
What was the point where you decided to get sober?
it was I tried getting sober before this. I got sober for like 300 days more or less, and that was really my ex-girlfriend. The last girl that I dated was 100% sober through our whole relationship, which is insane. Like, if you know anything about me, especially, like, I keep a lot off camera, you know what I mean? I keep a lot to myself, and I definitely was living this like kind of double life for a while. So for me to like randomly start dating this like sober girl was really random and weird, but like I loved it, and like I don't know, there was something about kind of balanced each other out in a lot of ways, you know? But I feel like a relationship, like a healthy relationship is like 100% of the whole pie. It's not really ever 50-50, is it? Some days it's like you got to give 80, they got 20.
Yeah, okay.
Some days they give 70 and you got 30, right? And then if you both fucking got 30, you go your separate way and chill for a little bit and
wow,
whatever. But in our relationship, I feel like she was 80% the whole way through and I was 20 is essentially what happened. She's a really good girl, great girl, and her and her dad showed me kind of what it was like to what it could be like to be sober. Her dad's Rick Solomon, in case you guys know who that is.
oh wow,
It's pro poker player guy. Rick's basically who Dan Bilzerian pretends to be. He was married to Pamela Anderson a couple times. He's a sick guy.
He's dating Shannon Doherty, who just passed.
I guess so. Yeah, this guy was like the Hollywood playboy
Dude.
for years and years. He was like the guy. He's the guy. You know, Paris Hilton, the fucking OG sex tape. It's his dick in the sex tape.
him.
He's the goat. He's the goat.
he spent a night in Paris.
Yeah. One night in Paris. That's Rick.
But he was married to
shout out
Pamela
Rick.
Anderson too. Wow, who is this guy?
Yeah, no, he's the goat. But that's what I'm saying. He still lives like a really insane, psyched out lifestyle. Like, I love it, right? Like I always say, I live for the plot. I live for the movie. Like I like. It sounds really cliche and whack when you say it like that, but like it's just, I don't know. You know what I mean? I want to move quick. I want to experience as much as I can in this life. And I got introduced to this guy, and yeah, I don't know, him and his whole squad and
So
Tyson.
his daughter, what's his daughter's name?
Tyson.
And like, is her mom famous?
Her mom's E.G. Daily, who's the voice of Tommy Pickles on the Rugrats.
Okay.
It's like a Hollywood family, you know what I mean? Like
Oh yeah, and she was Dottie on Pee Wee's Playhouse.
yeah, she was, and she's done like Powerpuff Girls and stuff, voice acting. E.G.'s the goat too, also sober.
So Tyson's just a hella nug, huh?
Yeah, great girl, honestly, great girl.
So then what? I mean, you guys broke up and then you hit rock bottom, or you just kind of?
It was kind of rock bottom to put it mildly. It was that happened. My company had just gotten brought public, which these lawyers and all these corporate people, we can get into it, but long story short, these people are all writing their own deals and the ones kind of behind the scenes making everything happen, right? They don't give a fuck about us at the end of the day. It's all about money for them. So these guys kind of left me and my homies holding a bag, and we ultimately got and that kind of all came to a head around that time when her and I broke up. And my dad had just gotten really, really sick, and it was looking like it was coming to an end for Big Rich. All three of these things kind of happening all at once. So yeah, rock bottom's definitely.
It's just too much all at once.
Yeah, definitely.
Rock bottom was like what the
Handful of pills.
Oh yeah, the whippets, man. I felt like OG Steve-O for a minute. Man. We were fucking sickos. We were sickos.
What was with the whippets? It was the little cartridges.
No, that's how it always
tanks?
starts. Yeah, we were getting the tanks dropped off. The guy coming in the Escalade. This guy, I don't even remember his name, but he would pull up in the wife beater and 2 different slides on and looked like a crackhead, but he was getting us for like $1,500 a night. You know what I mean? So I don't know. And he had this brand new Escalade.
And was it medical grade nitrous?
Oh, it was the best of the best.
$1,500 a night.
Yeah, I spent $2 million
Holy
in the course of
shit.
a year on rooms at Beverly Hills Hotel and 2CB and ketamine and whippets and dinners and stuff. Yeah.
Wow, dude.
Local too. We weren't in Europe. We weren't doing anything really that crazy. We were sitting in my crib in the West Hollywood Flats just getting fucked up. It was nuts.
man.
It was
What's the deal with
nuts.
people with like that do whippets that like to stay up for 3-4 days at a time?
Well, I mean,
I like to stay up for 3-4 days at a time, like by default. Even off drugs, people think I'm the most psyched out individual for the fact that all I do now is caffeine. I kicked nicotine like 5 months ago too, but I'll still do these little 48-hour benders where I stay up and kind of start like toting the line of like mania.
Wow.
Where it's like kind of fun.
That's
for
kind of
me.
addicting.
Yeah,
It's
so
crazy.
fucked.
I've been sober for 16 years, and when you say nitrous and ketamine, I can't help but think,
It's so fun. It's so fun because those are my two favorite too. It's so fun.
and it's in the only reason I did nitrous for days in a row is because I was also doing cocaine.
We like to tote the line of death. I feel like that's because that's
Dude.
what it is.
Did you ever hear voices?
Oh yeah, I mean, I was talking to. I was playing bingo with God. Baby, it was fucking.
Bingo
we
with
were
God.
Fucking, we were fucking. We were partying.
I was
fucking,
partying with God big time.
Yeah, big
dude.
time. Big
And
time.
like hearing voices, like did you see people walking around who weren't there?
Oh yeah, shit got all of it, man, all of it. You know when you do so many drugs and like an array of drugs that like it kind of all like in a weird way comes full circle and you're not really fucked up anymore. You feel like has that ever happened? Or you're so
Or so
fucked
you
up,
think.
or you're so fucked up. You're so fucked up that you can't really put your finger on like what's even going on.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like,
And
like you get past the point of seeing people and hearing voices. You're just fucking.
I think that what's really fascinating to me is that any different substance, like maybe even alcohol, but if you do like any number of completely different things, it'll take you on the path to the same psychosis.
Yeah.
Like meth, like coke, nitrous, like you can end up. They're so different. You end up in the same place.
Broken brain.
And people call it the committee. Like when I got to rehab, I was like, man, I thought I came up with the committee. The committee of like voices of like, behind the curtain, like once you get into psychosis, then all of a sudden, like you realize that there's behind the curtain and it's the committee calling the shots. I don't know.
No, it makes sense. How do you feel about rehab and AA and all those things?
I mean, saved my life.
Same.
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 Saved my life, and when life for me gets stressful, like when I feel like I'm trying to force something to work and it's just not working, when I'm frustrated, when I'm challenged, like the answer is always to just lean back into recovery.
Yeah,
like,
for
just
sure.
Double down, recommit.
That one day at a time slogan kind
Yeah.
of mindset really definitely changed my whole life. It's crazy as a kid who comes from, like an underprivileged kid from Boston whose dad, is an alcoholic and just like your stereotypical big, loud Boston Irish fucking dude. And I grew up with two brothers. Like AA, like I don't know. It's crazy that I ever even made my way into one of those rooms.
But you do the whole program deal, huh? Like you're.
I've kind of fallen off, unfortunately, the last like 6 months. But the first year was really important. Those meetings definitely kept me on course. Honestly, I should probably get back into it because I've kind of been like slipping up like mentally a little bit recently.
I mean, yeah, my position's always been that I don't want to find out what happens if I don't even want to know if I can get away with like drifting away from the pack. Like,
Yeah.
When you say you're slipping away emotionally, is that because you've become the CEO?
Yep.
And is this just too stressful, or is it?
Oh,
other
it is
things?
a lot on my plate. I prefer that though. You know what I mean? I begged the fucking universe for this, like truly, like begged for them to just give me my shit back and to be the guy, like in this position for no other reason than I really feel like I'm just the guy to do this job, and I'm really grateful that a lot of other people specifically that I actually give a fuck about their opinion feel the same way. If that makes sense. So I that part of life is great. It might be a little bit stressful, right? It's important to fucking talk about these things, and we're not gonna. this doesn't have to be a therapy session. But it is important for us to fucking unpack these things, right? Just even in the last like couple weeks, I've been fucking eating like shit, and just like my sleeping patterns have been thrown off. Like I said, my fucking neck's all fucked up out of nowhere, and it's just sometimes you got to listen to your body and fucking slow down and pump the brakes and breathe and just like I said, unpack shit and figure out, kind of recenter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so Game Square, that's who bought you guys out, and they own the majority of the Faze Inc?
Not anymore. No, Faze Media is a company that we just set up a couple months back officially, and Banks Group actually owns the majority of it now, 74.5%, I believe is what it is. And finally,
that's the whole point. Is it's like a fight for majority shareholder.
Yep,
right, because that's your baby. And you have the vision.
All the cool little internet entrepreneurs take me as a use case and somebody to look at as reference on what not to do in a lot of ways and what to do in some other ways. But yeah, majority control is everything. 51%.
Yeah. So when you see something like
might as well be 100.
When you see the Social Network movie, do you now get Mark Zuckerberg?
Mark Zuckerberg? What about the actual GOAT, Kelly Slater, the greatest surfer of all time? He started a company called Outer Known, which makes clothes that I'm wearing right now, clothes that are made from recycled and organic materials in fair trade factories around the world, which means that these awesome clothes do not destroy the environment or take advantage or exploit people. I mean, this company is epic. The clothes are awesome. And again, the guy who started the company is Kelly Slater. Plus, even better, the friends and family of the Wild Ride podcast, that means you, can get a full 25% off your order. Not just your first order. It's always a full 25% off your entire order if you go to outerknown.com/Stevo. That's outerknown.com/Stevo, and use the promo code Stevo at checkout to get a full 25% off your order. I mean, it's a great company, it's great clothes, and you're going to look great wearing them. You're going to get 25% off. So one more time, outerknown.com/Stevo, and let's get back to it.
Yeah,
Mark
Zuckerberg's also like a fucking kind of a weirdo. He's like a creep show. Like I don't know. The whole money, half the reason why it was so easy, I feel like, to take advantage of me and my friends was we were never in this for money. You know what I mean? Like the Faze thing specifically was like it started as such like not a joke. A joke isn't a fair way to say it, but like just purely for fun. Like me and my friends, purely for fun. Trick shotting, Call of Duty trick shotting.
No scope.
Yeah, that community is very reminiscent of like skate culture, and like just imagine it the same as kids who, you know, stumble across a video camera and a couple fucking skateboards and they're just running around the city just fucking around pointing the camera at it. Somehow, some way, people stumble across it, love it, and it blows the fuck up, right? And then you're Tony Hawk. Like that was like it was like, you know, a very similar come up. And we would have did it for free forever. You know what I mean? And we did do it for free for a long time. Mm-hmm. And then it caught wave, and then it got bigger and bigger and bigger. And then, 2008, like I said, started in 2008. There wasn't anybody for me to look to for reference or get advice from, or fucking let's do it like that or let's not do it like that. We were the guinea pigs. We were the first people to kind of do it. So, yeah, there were plenty of fucking sharks swimming around in the waters ready to fucking sink their teeth in and take their piece of it. And
when you look at the different valuations of FazeClan, like was it ever like over $1 billion?
Yeah, it was. And I remember me and all my friends like Norton and stuff. I know he'll relate heavy to this, but it was like, no, it's not. You know what I mean? Like how? Like no. These guys, I don't know, the word business is synonymous with the word bullshit. It's just like, it's 99% of it's all smoke and mirrors. And I don't know, trusting yourself and your gut and like your own, like your feel for shit. I swear to God, like there's something to that.
So it was over $1 billion at some point, and then it's like 700 million, and then GameSquare buys it for 17 million. Did they just like completely get away with one?
I think GameSquare made a fucking great deal, and I told Justin Kenna that when he was making the deal. And I blessed GameSquare coming in and buying it because Kenna came to me before there was any purchase made, and said the only way that we're gonna do this is if you're the guy who's gonna run it. And I responded with the only way that I'm gonna run it is if you actually let me run it the right way, the proper way, and my way. Which we're not gonna prioritize fucking, merch sales and fucking money and stuff. We're gonna get this shit back on track and get back to like the essence of Faze, which is just creating like fun, cool content for the youth. You know what I mean? Internet culture, gaming culture, and just fucking, kids with cameras again, running around, fucking around, having fun.
And the other thing, like,
I don't think it was 17 million though. I think it was there was like a stock swap, and the value that they got in at was something around 50 million or something. Like Faze is valued at 50 million, but fucking ways away from, like you said, 750, $1 billion. Like, I think they stole it for that, to be honest.
The other thing with all the sponsorships, the ad revenue, that's like what people were complaining about, huh?
I mean, it was one revolving door of just like brand deals and like ads and fucking merch drops and fucking 1,000 different SKUs of the same hoodie. And like, people, they just completely lost the plot. They didn't ever know what Faze was to begin with. You know what I mean? And they never fucking listened.
The Faze merch was sick though.
Yeah, always. I mean, they like let us like keep some sort of creative control on that front, and I appreciate you saying that. But it's just one of those things. I don't know if have you ever been in a position where you're fucking like you care so much about something, but it's just like it's lost its way. It's not fun anymore. Where it's like I don't know. Like I couldn't even wear this fucking logo for years. You know what I mean? And just like I was like ashamed of it, embarrassed about it, and it's crazy too because it was never as bad like front facing as it was behind the scenes for us. You know what I mean? And that's, again, especially with something like this where like this fucking logo is going to be on my tombstone whether I like it or not. This is what people are going to remember me as, and this is going to be my legacy. You know what I mean? So it's like I don't know.
It's rad, man.
How involved in like character skins are you on COD? Do you design them
zero out of 10?
Somebody just does that for you?
Call
guys?
of Duty?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's more like the esports side. We're letting those guys rock. Right now, the last 3 months, I've been hard focused on like the core, kind of trying to recreate the vibe and the essence of what really blew Faze up in the first place, which, again, people always misconstrue this like video game thing, which it's been a very important element, and it's like kind of like what's always made Faze Faze. It's our little special secret sauce that we have, like we're the video game guys. But at the end of the day, where Faze, like, the big boiling point, breaking point for Faze was me and my friends in a house together, and the dynamic was really authentic and genuine, and like it was that like, look, these guys play video games and they're fucking running around doing crazy cool shit, and they're like, mate, this is like their whole life. Like, look, mom, look, dad, like they're playing video games and fucking they drive a cooler car than you do. Like, I can fucking do this. You know what I mean? Like, that's what Faze was, and that's how Faze kind of erupted and blew up in the first place, and it's just getting back to that over the last 18 months, but more specifically like the last 3-4 months since we've been able to really like press go on this shit has been like the whole focus.
So you're looking at profit and loss statements on a quarterly basis with your team. Is that like your role now? Like you're sitting in on meetings and going over these?
Yeah, kind of. My role's more so like telling people to chill the fuck out and firing people, honestly, because my philosophy and like my whole thesis on this Faze shit, especially like 18 months ago when we had fucking 100 plus employees and the burn rate was at one point these motherfuckers were spending $6 million a month on what? I would always say
the company was?
Yeah, give me $6 million a month to splash and I could take over the fucking planet. I really feel that way. And I'm like, what the fuck? They're doing fucking goat yoga at the offices and shit. They think they're in Silicon Valley building Facebook. It's fucking insane.
And
they have a chef cooking themselves lunch and shit. It's just, I swear to God, it got to a point where it's just a bunch of fucking corporate people in a room like pilling each other on how like important they are to the company, and like you need me and I need you, and we're all like building this crazy like Faze, like, and like, yeah, let's all pay each other a gross amount of money, and that's just what I don't know, just, It felt like that. It was fucking weird.
So firing people was harder.
Yeah.
Was it hard or easy for you? Because
Easy.
Because you're so pissed.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I'm at a point where like I'm all out of favors, man. I just borrowed $11.5 million to fucking get this done, and like, yeah, maybe the favors will turn back on when I pay that back. But it's just my whole fucking career. It's been one handout after the other, and just trusting the wrong person over and over and over. And I've always deep down known. You know what I mean? It's just. Again, I just need me and my fucking homies and maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 people behind the camera, you know what I mean, helping me fucking keep shit organized, you know, a money guy, a legal guy, and then a couple guys holding cameras and fucking,
Man.
you know what I mean? And
You
it's
took
just,
the company from 100 employees to like how many are there now?
I think there's like 20 or something, but I want to cut it down even more, honestly. I think it's 20 or 30.
It gets addicting.
It does, because it's just like, I don't know, that's like you said, profit and loss, like the loss part of it, like what the fuck is even our overhead? You know what I mean? Like I was fucking one of the biggest people on the internet for a good stretch of time, like that Cloud House era, me, Rice, Alyssa. I paid an editor a couple $100 to edit each video, and I had a fucking G7X that I took an Uber, a fucking $80 Uber to Best Buy, and bought it for $800. My overhead on the year was fucking, you know, $3,000. And I was making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. So, again, I didn't need this big crazy team. I didn't need a big fucking warehouse that cost $200,000 a month. I didn't need fucking goat yoga and fucking.
Dude, I relate to so much of this.
I'll let you.
It's real shit though. It's insane. But that's part of the whole thing of like getting the value up. Like it's because at some point they're raising against the team. We have this team, right? It's like that Silicon Valley thing where like. When you hear about like Google coming and fucking buying, you know, these tech companies for, you know, hundreds of millions of dollars, they're just really just buying the team, right? Like they're buying the team and like they're buying some of the IP. I don't know. It's fucking weird.
I mean, it's as simple as this. I think that when times are really good, it's easy to say, oh yeah, we need this, like we need that, you know, like warehouses for sure, you know, like, oh, the warehouse is going good, let's get a second warehouse for sure, like, oh, hire this person, hire that person, like, oh yeah, for sure. You end up with all of these fixed costs that represent just like staggering expenditure, and then heaven forbid the Fed raises the interest rates, and then all of a sudden money dries up, and then like, sure, you're still making money, but like now all of a sudden you're really feeling that the expense. So you end up like, I mean, I've ended up where I'm like, okay, hold on a second. I'm not lazy. I work my ass off all the time, and I'm like,
and people
breaking
fuck
even.
With you. People fuck, it's
like,
insane.
they're like, wait, what?
Yeah,
I'm like
nuts.
working this hard. Yep, that's what's been going on. And if I'm honest, it has really stressed me out to the point where I feel like I gotta do something to handle my stress. And that's why I'm so glad that this episode is brought to you by BetterHelp, because that's the most helpful thing you can do when you're stressed out is get into therapy. If you haven't tried it, let me tell you, I cannot recommend it enough. I've done it to help with my relationship with Lux. I've done it to help with my work-related stress. I've done it with all kinds of stuff. And it really, really helps me. I think it can really help you. And you can get a great deal, 10% off your first month if you go to betterhelp.com/Stevo. That's betterhelp.com/Stevo. And you get 10% off your first month. And I mean, dude, it's so easy. You don't have to leave the house to go to a therapist's office. You do it online at your convenience. And they've got so many licensed therapists. They've matched like 3 million people with therapy. It's the greatest online network for therapy. And you get the killer deal if you go to betterhelp.com/Stevo. So if you're feeling stressed out about stuff like I have been, then let me recommend getting into therapy with BetterHelp. One more time, betterhelp.com/Stevo. And let's get back to it. It's just crazy, man.
It's good advice even for, I feel like, people in their own personal finance, right? It's just like, it boils down to just not spending money's wave. You know what I mean?
Going to the grocery store instead of Postmates.
No, for real though.
You
It's
know?
like these little decisions you make throughout your day. It fucking actually matters. It's crazy.
The last email I sent, like, said, I want to, add to our agenda a line by line exercise in reducing and eliminating expenses.
Yeah, it's the best. That's kind of where we're at right now. And it fucking feels great. And it's so sick. Like I had to spend hours and hours like painstakingly headbanging against the wall, conversation after conversation with these people, the boards and the people who are really in control and the money people, right? Trying to explain to them like my whole thesis and philosophy on Faze and kind of where these, previous management and ownership lost the plot, and how fucking simple and easy it could be just to like get it back on track, and almost kind of made it sound like with the snap of a finger it could be back to where it was. And like I had to gain a lot of trust from a lot of people, and I put my nuts on the chopping block and kind of risked everything. And it's just really cool that in real time, like as we're, eliminating expenses, Faze is going this way, and like it's fucking back, it's getting back to where it was. And like in a lot of regards, it's at all-time highs, and fucking the sentiment online right now is fucking amazing. And I'm so grateful for it. And it's just, I'm more grateful than anything else, it just being fun again. It's been so much fun over the last few months, and the fucking kids that I got blessed with, like, there are some things that, like, I've always kind of had an eye for talent, and I've always been able to spot these kids kind of on the earlier side. It's definitely one of my, like, superpowers that I feel like I'm a little bit better than most people at. And these kids, like, there are certain things that you can't control, right? Sometimes you'll come across a kid and they blow up the way that you expected them to, but then their fucking ego is fucking out of control, or they just, like, you know what I mean? They lose their own plot, right? They start fucking spending money and they want to dress a certain way.
Well, yeah, and then they're all
what I mean?
like, dude, I'm
They
the
get a
biggest thing in the
girlfriend.
world.
Exactly. And then they get some fucking girlfriend who has an OnlyFans and wants to fucking pump her shit up. You guys know how it goes.
Of course.
And these fucking kids, man, we took shots on, 4 or 5 of these new kids, and they're fucking all awesome. Like,
You're talking about the new guys.
Yeah.
Is Nick Merckx a new guy, or was he always on there?
Nick Merckx has been on the team for a minute, but Nick Merckx, see, this is I'm glad that you brought up Nick, because Nick, the old corporate guys were paying Nick $1 million a year to have Faze in his name and basically pretend to fuck with the brand. And not that he doesn't fuck with it. Like, I fucking love Nick. Nick loves me. I love his family. Like, Nick's a fucking great dude, and he's really good at what he does. But when you can get where there's a bag, go and grab the fucking bag, and him
Like
and his
Snoop?
yeah. Him and his management, finessed and hustled a fucking bag from Faze for more or less $1 million a year to have Faze in his name and be a part of Faze. And like, that's just not what the fuck Faze is, ever was. And it's just a broken model. It makes absolutely no sense.
So when Nick does,
there's no way for us to recoup that money, really. A guy like Nick, and just like our structure of the deal. And even then, like, even if our deal was like some like 360, we take 20 off the top of everything type of deal. There's no way for that to ever land in a spot where everyone's happy, because either we don't recoup our money and we're at a loss on you, and we feel some type of way about that, or you exceed what we expected you to do at the beginning of the year, and we paid you $1 million up front, but we ended up taking fucking $3-4 million off the top, and now you fucking despise us, you resent us. You know what I
It
mean?
sounds like you're talking about the T-Food debacle.
Yeah, it's kind of in line with all that, and just really all the other deals that we've ever done with talent. The new kids, we pay them nothing. We pay them zero, and they've never been happier. We've never had a better relationship, a cleaner relationship, because they want to fuck with us for everything that we can offer outside of money.
Right.
And we fuck with them, and we want to invest in these kids, and that's more of the relationship. It's more appropriate, and it makes way more sense, Like, if a kid like Max, who maybe doesn't necessarily have the resources, this kid fucking streams 10 hours a day, right? And that's what he should be doing. But if he wants to build out some show or something, like, we could set that up in 2 seconds and invest into it and kickstart it with the money. And that's more so the relationship that...
What's going on with T-Food today?
Turner's the GOAT. That's my brother. if you follow the history of fucking Faze and me and Tfue specifically, I was kind of like the last hanging shred with Turner and Faze. And it was never really about, it became about me and Tfue because I responded to it, which is an interesting fucking part of Faze's history. But like we never had an issue with each other, you know what I mean? Like I understood why he was bummed out. There were also other things too where like he was young, taking advice from fucking people who he shouldn't have been taking advice from, in my opinion. But also too, yeah, the deal was fucked up, and like Faze honestly like was not. I didn't enjoy being a part of Faze. I fucking started the thing, you know what I mean? Like I helped start it, and it's like.
But he's killing it still.
Yeah, we just saw him in Vegas, and we were pretty much buddied up with him the whole time, the whole way through this last UFC event and Power Slap. Yeah, Tfue's part of the fam. There's definitely stuff we want to do with him in the future. Dude, as far as all the Faze stuff, he's an important part of the history, and he's one of the goats.
Epic. And what about his brother? His
Juke Squad,
yeah.
Jack Tenney.
So that's how I. Do you know how I met Turner or no?
I don't. I mean, I remember when we met Jack.
Yeah.
Juke Squad Jack.
Tampa.
We were out there like mounting a trampoline onto a pickup truck to like bounce off of a moving truck off a bridge, and you know, back when that was cool on YouTube.
I think maybe is that how I met you? Maybe through them.
I'm not even sure, but I remember them saying like, oh yeah, and then Jack's brother he doesn't leave the room. He just sits there and plays video games. And like he's like the best in the world.
Yeah, I love that.
And so yeah, that was the whole deal there.
Yeah, no, one of my friends, a mutual at the time, Fortnite just popped off, and everyone's fucking playing it, and everyone's talking about this ninja guy and this myth guy, and they're getting fucking, you know, they're breaking records, Twitch records every single day, and Fortnite's taking over the world. And a mutual of ours was like, yo, we should play with this kid Tfue. He's Juke Squad's brother. And like, I just love shit like that. When shit like that happens, I'm like, being pilled on how good this kid is, I'm like, all right, yeah, fuck it, let's play with Juke Squad's brother, let's see how good he is. And then we're playing with him, and he's streaming to like fucking 10, 20 people. And we're playing with this kid, we all die, and he's left alive, and you know how you can kind of see them play? This kid's fucking cranking 90s and doing edits and doing all this crazy, like, next level shit.
What's an edit?
Just like Fortnite shit.
Okay.
And he's just doing shit. He's doing shit that nobody else is doing it, and his movement is so fucking so clean, and he's just shitting on kids, and he's just like clearly like visibly better than like the top. You know what I mean? Just undiscovered. Like nobody's looking at this kid or paying attention to this kid, but like I'm trying to figure out where the discrepancy's at. I'm like, okay, why are people not flocking to this kid? Why has nobody discovered this kid? And I got really excited about it because now here I am after our first, we play together, and it was probably pretty cool from his point of view playing with me because it's like, oh, this is fucking Faze Banks, like turn it on, fucking whatever. And then I follow the kid, and I keep wanting to play with him, and I'm in, you know what I mean, at nighttime laying next to my girlfriend, and rather than watching Ninja and Myth, I'm watching him, like naturally wanting to watch him. And I told Cloaksy, you have to play with this kid. Cloaksy was the captain of the Faze Fortnite team at the time. I told him, you have to scrim with this kid. You have to practice with this kid. And I remember at the fucking time, too, he's like, fuck that. Like, that kid sucks. Like, nah, we're all set. We're good. Cloak, please just play with him one night. If you still feel that way, I'll never bring it up again. Just please. Played with him. The rest was history. That duo went on to win fucking a ton of shit together. And, yeah, Tfue's Tfue. Crazy.
Let's get you on the FazeClan, dude. A Steve-O skin Faze, dude.
Did you quit making your own YouTube videos?
Yeah, dude. The whole YouTube thing for me was kind of all happened by accident. The OG Faze House, New York. These kids were fucking. That's all we did. And for those 2 years living in New York, all these fucking kids did was make videos. Faze Rain made 3 videos a day. He made 1 video on his main channel, 2 videos on his second channels. Every single day. Apex, Tico, Adapt, fucking Blaziken, all these kids making videos every single day. I never made a video. I don't even think I had a channel for a really
you haven't
long
made
time.
a video in 5 years?
Yeah, it feels like it's been longer. Dear Tfue.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's not for me, man. It never really like. It was never. I like the whole business of like the internet and like internet culture and social media and content and stuff. But like, as far as like being in front of a camera, you know, making videos, I like it. But when it gets too big, it gets like out of control big. Like I don't know, like this stretch of time in my life, I just remember not being able to do anything without fucking a million opinions about it. I very publicly dated a girl, you know what I mean? Which when it's good, it's great, but then when it's bad, it's fucking sucks, and it's like, I don't know. It attracts really fucking awful people. I'm sure you can relate to this too. Like,
oh boy,
when money, when money and like fame gets mixed into like your life, and it's a prominent like piece of like who you are, who people perceive you to be, it attracts like the fucking absolute worst humans.
It's an understatement to say that I relate so intimately to like everything that you've described going through.
Yeah.
Like literally everything.
And at least when you like your version of like famous was fucking cool. Like you guys are rock stars. There's mad cool people. Like this fucking internet like clout shit is so lame. Like most of the people doing this shit, no offense, like I guess there is some offense intended, but like it's just a lot of disingenuous bullshit. Like, and it's just the game. It's part of the game, right? Like click me and fucking titles and thumbnails. Like a lot of people, you know, being genuine doesn't get you really far in this game. It's like a very select, like few people kind of creep to the top and blow past the top who are like genuine, but the rest of it is just like this fucking weird clout game, ladder climbing, weird shit. It's fucking
What's
cringe.
going on with Rice Gum these days?
Rice is maxing his aura, just keeping it mellow, low key, off the grid, off the chart. He signed a Rumble deal, probably made a few million off that because he's the GOAT.
Was he a video game dude?
Yeah, Rice fucking first started streaming. Rice is like one of the founding fathers of this shit, bro. Like Rice is the fucking GOAT. He started streaming on MLG.TV, which Major League Gaming, like Call of Duty's like league and Halo's league, tried to start their own streaming platform in competition with Justin.tv. And I think they ended up buying them out. And then Twitch bought all of it, and then Amazon bought all that. Right? But originally it was Justin TV. Yeah, Rice was one of like the first streamers ever. First person ever streaming.
But he's doing good.
I hope so. Yeah, I talk to him here and there. I know he's like kind of like family focused right now. The last we talked about like work stuff, he said he wanted to get kind of more involved in shit and liked everything that we were doing. And I don't know, Rice is my fucking brother. Rice Gum is one of the fucking only people that ever came into my life and added anything. Like
nice.
And it sounds awful saying that. There's been plenty of people who have contributed to my life and I owe a lot to, but like in the grand scheme, you know, 99 to 1, he's in that 1 percentile of people who just fucking came in and waved a little magic wand and fucking helped, you know, propel me forward and get to the next level and change my whole life. I fucking love Rice.
When we met, Rice was big in the mix, and it seemed like you were like pretty involved with Keemstar.
Yeah, Keem. So I'll always be indebted to Keem, and he will always be my fucking boy. I'll always ride for him. I had a manic episode in like 20. What was it? 2 years into the Faze house.
Which Faze house?
The New York one, the original
okay.
one. I got booted back to Boston pretty much. I lost my fucking mind, went off the walls, back to square one, and Keemstar and fucking Rugrat and Adapt. Faze Rug and Faze Adapt and Keemstar called me nearly every day, every other day, trying to fucking get me back on my shit and just like giving me, you know, positive words of affirmation, trying to uplift me and get me back into the swing of things. And I don't know, that shit like that means a lot. That was a rock bottom moment in my life, and he was just there for it. And we had that show together, Mom's Basement.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was what the Mom's Basement. I feel like there was some kind of a drama with Fousey on there.
Yeah, and I think did we have Fousey on, or that was right around the time we launched?
Right around that time.
Right around the time we launched that, it was kind of a bigger thing for me and him. Fousey was just losing his mind, and Keem was like working that into the shows and
What's
stuff.
your relationship with Fousey?
Fousey's an OG YouTuber. So there are few people that I can say that still kind of linger around and float around that I like, that inspired me or like did this before me. And Fousey's definitely one of those people. Fousey and Vitaly.
Yeah.
They're still doing it and kind of still active and still got their things. And they fucking, they've been doing this shit longer than me at a way higher level than me. Right. And
I wonder, man.
We've always had that mutual respect. And I think Fousey, I don't know. I'm one of those people who like, I'm attracted to and drawn to people when they're like at their worst for some reason. You know what I mean? Like I want to reach out to people when they're doing bad and let them know like, yo, I have some advice for you, or I have this for. I find myself reaching out to people when when their backs are against the wall for whatever fucking reason. It ends up fucking me half the time, but in Fousey's case, like when all that shit was happening, I remember the internet's response to like all his shit, his outbursts, was like, I don't know. I remember thinking it was really weird. Like people were like trying to actively cancel him and shit on him and like memeing him and making fun of him.
Mocking him. Yeah.
Yeah, mocking him for sure. And like all these commentary channels making videos, kind of just like highlighting all the weird shit he was doing, but not like why he was doing the weird shit. And it was really obvious to me, like, this dude's fucking manic. He's like losing his fucking mind. You know what I mean? Like, this could take a fucking really wild turn. And I don't know. I just remember being there for him during that time. And Fousey's one of those guys who has really high highs and really low lows. And at his real low lows, I've just been there. So anytime he's hit those high highs, he'll always fucking hit me back up and let me know that he appreciates that. We have a weird relationship.
Yeah, man. He's definitely an OG.
Yeah, I'll always have respect for him on that.
What's your day-to-day look like now?
It's different every day, but it's I've been trying to wake up as early as possible. Today was fucking extra early, but like, before 10 o'clock, I consider it a win. And then just whatever. I know it sounds like a little bit weird, but I take pride in like, I had an assistant or like maids or like people doing. I had my ass wiped the first fucking 6 years I lived here, right? And I just like finessed it and thought that was like a cool way to live. And just recently, I've taken a lot of pride in like just like tidying up my own room and like doing my own laundry. And it sounds weird, but it's like that shit. I feel like keeps me really grounded and focused and like sets my day up to just have a great day. So I wake up and I'll like clean up my room and like situate my shit. Slam a coffee and then just like whatever's in front of me.
Are you researching crypto? Are you getting into that?
So
what do you mean getting into that? You've been on the crypto tip before anybody.
Yeah, the crypto stuff's kept me afloat, man. Thank fucking God for that. It is one of those things too. I really do mean it when I say it's really hard for me to move for money. It's really hard for me to get myself up and like active and give anything my all or my best if I'm not genuinely like interested in it, passionate about it, see some sort of future in it, excited about it, right? And thank fucking God, like all those boxes were checked off for like the crypto stuff. NFTs more specifically kind of really dragged me into that whole market and community. But I've done really well on that shit the last few years. Right before I really got a chance to press go on the Faze CEO shit. The market's been bullish since like October-ish, and we were doing really, really good. I live with all crypto guys. I don't live with like content creators anymore. I live with like 3 or 4 big crypto guys. It
just occurred to me that at the point when FazeClan went public and like you were talking about like the trifecta of like shit falling apart in your life.
The market
That's
crashed.
the same time when the crypto crashed too.
It did.
Wow, you must have had the shittiest time.
No, it was literally the worst time of my whole life. It's funny that I don't even mention that. That doesn't even break the top 3. And I lost $10 million over the course of fucking, a month and a half, which is fucking nuts. But money's, I don't know. Even the Faze shit, it wasn't about the money. It was never about the money. It's like, it just, the feeling of just, nobody likes to get fucked. You know what I mean? Like sitting there with the bag in your hand and all these fucking people who wrote their own deals running off into the sunset with millions of dollars when you've never made a fucking dollar on this. You fucking started the thing. The whole reason anybody gives a fuck about this is because of you. And you're
Yeah.
Luckily for me too, I've had this crypto thing. I've always had the ability to like open up my laptop and fuck around and like make magic internet money, right? But some of the kids who I came up with on this Faze shit, like this was their whole fucking thing. This was their ticket out. This is like what supported them and their families for so long. And like, you know, these fucking people did promise us that they were gonna get us there. They promised us that, yeah, you guys are gonna have to sacrifice, you know, control, and you guys are gonna have to like, you know, grit your teeth and fucking, you know, make some, trust us on some tough things. And yeah, this sucks now, but it's gonna be great later when your fucking families are taken care of and you're cashing out. And then that never happens. And you know, there's fucking kids who came up on this the same way I did, who are like stressed on money and shit. It's not right, you know what I mean? And there's fucking like lawyers and fucking finance people who like wrote their own deals and worked at Faze for fucking 6 months and somehow made millions of dollars. It just doesn't, it's not right. It doesn't make sense.
Sacrificing control is a red flag word.
100%. 100%.
Dude.
And they never really say it to you straight like that either. It's like they dance around.
It's lawyered up.
It's one of those things, man. It's fucked.
Yeah, because it's your baby, it's your vision.
Yeah.
Like how are they gonna know what, you know?
And none
where
of
to
us
take
even
it.
really ever gave a fuck. Like I still don't. Like I still don't want to do the fucking. It's boring. It's annoying. Nobody wants to be a CEO. Everybody thinks they want to be a CEO. You don't. Like it's the fucking worst. Like everything that goes right, yeah, you get your flowers, whatever. But anything that goes wrong, it's 100% on you. There's a lot of fucking bullshit that you have to do on a day to day. A lot of responsibility that like it's just not fun. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. And keeping it fun is really fucking important. Clearly, it's like a very important part of whatever the fuck this is and the product. At the end of the day,
How do you keep yourself motivated as a CEO?
well, exactly what I just said. It's not fucking cool that some of my co-founders are struggling financially right now. Like that fires me the fuck up when my neck hurts and I'm like, fuck, man, I don't want to walk across the street and get in this van. I feel like shit. I'd rather just fucking lay in bed and blow ketamine and fuck hoes. It's like, oh, wait a second. Like my fucking boys who changed my whole life are fucking stressing taxes and shit. I gotta get up and I gotta get this shit done. And the whole fucking legacy thing too. Like, I don't know, man. Like I know that my contributions to Faze, I've definitely helped drag things down at certain points, but I feel like ultimately I've been a net positive to this whole fucking Faze thing. So if by the end of it, you know, shit's whack or it's down bad and it's fucking, it's you know what I mean? It's washed up and it's over with. That better have been because of what me and my friends did, not some fucking corporate bozos who just wanted to max extract as much money out of it as they possibly could. This logo, like I said, is going to be on my tombstone. So it's like, I got to make it fucking whatever what do I want people to talk about? Like, how do I want people to refer to this? I think that it could be, you know, as big as Nike one day. I think that it could live far past my human life. The other guys, I think that it could be a staple as far as internet history and culture, you know, for years and years. That's what's Nike at the end of the day. It's just a story,
in the
right?
dumps now?
Yeah, well,
All the stories are just Nike's doing so bad.
yeah, maybe they got to
Their shares at like
lost the plot.
$74 a share. But I mean, I was watching a whole P&L statement, like a YouTube show on them, and they're like, this is the company you want to invest in because, you know, they're still. I guess they just had a bad year with Nike shoes, but that's not even the biggest part of their company. I mean, they're still doing apparel. You know, they're still.
Okay. I mean, I've seen it in my feed. Nike's doing bad. Can you tell me about what I consider the legendary hotel room destruction?
Oh, God.
That I saw on TMZ.
Yeah, I'm still fucking banned from the Win, and yeah, all Win properties globally. For that, it was Art of the Wild 2018. Justin Mulford, he's a pro motocross rider, and my first friend group when I moved to LA was Nigel Houston and his fucking gang, his whole
Dude,
gang.
we're like
Yeah.
you're like neighbors with Nigel now.
Yeah, still to this day. And like Mo and stuff, you know all the guys or
I'm not sure about Mo,
yeah.
but
Their new house. I don't know how anybody fucking still is leasing houses to this kid. He just moves in these houses, rips every fucking day of the week, Monday through Sunday.
dude, Nigel's superhuman, man.
No, it's insane. Like truly. Like he was bred and built in the fucking jungles of Puerto Rico to be the greatest skater of all time, and then like discovered what a female was at like 18 and like has not let up off the gas. It's insane. He's such a sick fuck. But this is like my first friend group in LA. And it's very reminiscent of like my friends back home, and they embrace me with open arms. And these are just my best friends off rip. To this day, Tav, you met Tav.
Yeah.
He's my manager, and I met him. He was working as a promoter at Warwick, and he was just like a part of Nigel's crew, and he was just one of the ones who like wasn't getting fucked up and ripping all day. He was kind of like more on top of shit on the phone and shit. I'm like, you want a job? And like, I don't know. Now here we are 7 years later with this fucking kid. But Nigel and his friend group was like my first like friend group in LA, and still to this day they're my family. And Justin Mulford was a big part of that. And he had a really nasty accident. I think it was in 2017. Spent over a year in bed. Almost fully lost his leg. Almost fucking died. His whole career kind of smoked in the blink of an eye. And he was really, really bummed in like the homie group chat, and it was just really bad. That was probably his rock bottom, right? And then Art of the Wild 2018 comes around, and I'm very much actively doing drugs and partying and ripping, and so are they. And one night we're all fucked up, and we need a place to go. Like there's like an intermission between some parties, right? And we just need a place to go. We don't have a place to go. I'm like, fuck it, I'll get a suite. I go up, give my ID, get the room. I half forget that it's even my room, to be honest with you. But then we go up to this room, and we're all posted up in the room. And Mulford's walking around 2018, Art of the Wild at the Win, on crutches and ripping on crutches. And he sits back on this couch and hits a vase and smashes this vase. And he's like, woe is me. He's already like, woe is me. My life sucks. Like life sucks at that time for him. And he won't shut the fuck up about breaking this vase. He's like, I'm sorry, bro. I can't do anything right. Like, I promise when I can, I'll replace it. I'll pay you. I'm like, Mulford, I don't give a fuck. I'm tripping balls. I'm on fucking every drug that's been put in front of me. The last 3 days, my shirt's sticky. I haven't changed in 3 days. We're all, you know what I mean? Like, I don't care about the fucking vase. Mulford, shut the fuck up about the vase. He mentions the vase one too many times, and I go, Mulford. I walk across the room, I grab an identical vase, and I kick it as hard as I can, and it explodes against the wall. And I go, I don't give a fuck about the vase, and he laughs. I grab a plate. I don't care about the vase. Smash a plate. Smash a glass. I break a lamp. It's very manageable. It's a couple $1,000s in damage at this point. Then young Pinch, he makes music. Shout out Pinch. Comes out the bathroom. Everyone's cracking up laughing. We're all fucked up. He's like, what the fuck's going on? He was just taking a shit. He had an unopened Bud Light in his hand. And I snatched the Bud Light out of his hand and whipped it across the room. And it hits the big glass panel window, and the Bud Light bounces off, doesn't break, fully intact Bud Light, and the fucking window spider web just breaks. And you know in those like big suite rooms, the window's the whole wall.
And that's the window to the outside.
To the outside world,
Okay.
yes. The window to the outside world. Spider web shatters, and everybody, you could hear a fucking pin drop in the room. It's, oh my God. And I just remember thinking, and the way I justified it was like, oh my God, like, that's so bad. That's going to cost so much money. And this is either going to ruin my whole fucking weekend, or I'm going to double down and like make it worth it and just really fuck this room up.
Was anybody rolling when that happens, or no footage?
No, the footage with the aftermath. No, there was no footage of the actual breaking shit. No, maybe somewhere. I feel like maybe somewhere. I don't know. But everything in that room that you could break, I broke it. And I was ripping art off the walls and every fucking TV and the granite countertops. And yeah, it was ultimately caused like $120,000 in damage. And they needed like a crane to replace the window. And somebody did upload like a little snippet of like the room and like how fucked up it was. And yeah, the wind doesn't fucking play with that. They fucking banned me. Banned for life. I can never go back. I tried going back with Rick Solomon, bringing it back to Rick.
Is this your room right here?
Yeah, there's the granite. There's Mulford with the fucking oh, shit.
Wow.
The art, ripping art off the walls.
The TV didn't make it, did it?
Every TV in the room. The fucking window.
Oof.
And dude, they needed a crane. It was on like the 76th floor. They needed a crane to come and like replace it. And every day that they couldn't rent out this room, I had to pay for the room. It was a suite. It was like 3 racks a day. You know what I mean? For a couple weeks. And
I did a similar thing in a hotel in Excalibur, and somehow just got away with it. And then, like, years later, I showed up at Excalibur and I said, hey, like, I want to tell on myself. Like, I super destroyed a hotel room here, and I never had any consequences. Like, and they were like, oh, we don't know anything about it, but let's put you in the VIP suite.
awesome.
And
I couldn't have picked a worse place to do it. Vegas, they have like facial recognition, whatever. I remember coming down too.
I'm talking when I did this, it was 2003.
Oh wow. How old were you in 2003?
I would have been 29.
Wow. You look great.
Thanks, man.
Yeah,
I just turned
great.
50.
Yeah, you look fucking great.
I appreciate
God
that a lot,
bless.
man.
Yeah, no, it was so dumb. I remember coming down too and like trying to fucking come up with I came up with 101 different ways to try to weasel my way out of it and finesse out of it, and just there's.
They said it really was a legendary trashing of a hotel.
No, it was nuts. They told me it was the worst anybody's ever done. And also too, this was right around the time there was like this drama in Vegas at the time. Marshmello had like one of these other, or the Win had written like a fake deal with Marshmello to like upsell him at another hotel, and like the guy who handles talent at the Win was gonna split the difference or whatever with Marshmello or whatever. I don't know how accurate any of that of what I just said was, but there was like some drama on like fuck the Win. Like everybody was like fuck the Win at the time. So I remember when we did that, all the other hotels were hitting top like, yo, Banks is more than welcome to come stay with us anytime. Fuck the Win. Like we heard about what he did. It's fucking awesome. Whatever. Yeah, no, it was it's I still can't really go to Vegas because that's where everyone goes. The Win. It's fucked, man.
I mean, come on, dude. There's a million places to go in Vegas.
I know, but the Win is where like everyone goes. You know what I mean? Do you guys go to Vegas ever? Really? I'm telling you, man, it's the Win.
Yeah, we stay.
When
at
like
the
LA
Virgin.
goes to Vegas, everyone goes to the Win.
All right.
I almost can't go.
I'm not one of the cool kids, I guess. we stayed at the Virgin Hotel.
Stay at the Virgin or Red Rocks.
Yeah,
Red Rocks
is great.
Yeah,
Red
Red Rocks is epic.
Is that owned by the Fertitta brothers?
It is.
It is, yeah.
Jesus.
Tell me about Aiden Ross. What's the relationship with him?
Aiden's little bro. Aiden moved in with me and Rice Gum in Toluca Lake. What was it? How many years ago? 3 years ago, maybe, at this point.
So you are like largely responsible for Aiden Ross becoming like what he is now.
Out of all the people that I've kind of been a part of their come up in careers, I would say him the least, because he came in kind of already at an incline. Me and Rice, I would say, just kind of poured gas on the fire, which is really all I've ever done, and that's kind of all I've ever been good at. It's not like this is the thing, right? Like what Faze Corporate fucked up on was they thought you could slap Faze, the logo, the name, on anyone or anything, and it would sell and people would fucking watch it. That's not how it goes. You know what I mean? Obviously. Aiden always had like what it took to be that guy. It's just, yeah, him moving to LA and having access to these celebrities and, you know, having us behind him, kind of co-signing him, I think definitely helped fast track shit. And he definitely was in need of like some homies at the time. Twitch was like saturated, oversaturated with like, you know, the more like World of Warcraft like kids, like they call them the Poggers community. It's like the more like nerdier, like hardcore, like gamer, like Dungeons and Dragons, World of Warcraft. Apologize if that offends anybody, but Aiden comes in, he like plays NBA 2K and is obsessed with LeBron James and rappers and shit, and like wears Bape and Supreme and shit, and it's like they don't fuck with that. So like, you know, early on in Aiden's career, he would get like dogpiled, and like they didn't really fuck with him. They tried to kind of run him out of Twitch, and yeah.
How's he doing now, man? Like he'll just like kind of go off the radar for a while, huh?
You know, I think it's really unhealthy for anyone that young to make that much money that fast. I don't know how much you guys know about his kick deal, the kick stake deal, but he signed a pretty fucking huge deal with Kick. This
100 million.
I still don't know the exact number, but it's not super far off that. It's probably in the ballpark of 50 to 100 million.
How old is he?
Which is a fucking pretty disgusting amount of money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, how old is he?
How old is Aiden? Probably 24, 23. Yeah, fuck.
100 million at 23. What do you do with that kind of money? Get fucked up.
You fucking buy a warehouse in Miami and do whatever the fuck you want. Right?
So
he's a rock star, man. He's a great kid. Honestly, it's crazy to me how he'll still like get up and stream, because if I cashed out 100 M's at that age,
yeah.
You'd never have seen me in another YouTube video ever again. I probably would have ended up dead, to be honest.
Yeah, what's your take on Neon? You follow him much? I mean, last I saw, he got ran out at the Nate Diaz match.
Yeah, every time Neon goes viral, it's just him getting beat up or like fucked with or like, you know, crossing some sort of line. Yeah, there's a lot of people on like Kick and stuff who like their whole shtick is like just like going fucking viral, and we've all been around the internet to know at this point, like it's the easiest way to go viral is fucking doing some dark shit, right? Like getting into a fight or fucking saying some outlandish shit. I've spoken to Neon like off camera a bunch of times. And he's like, honestly, like he's a good kid. Like he's a young kid trying to figure his shit out. He kind of came up under Aiden.
Mm-hmm.
He was in that Aiden Ross universe. I think he was in a couple like E-dates, and you know, Aiden's community took a liking to him, and then they had a falling out because egos get big, and it's the part of the industry in this market that I really don't like.
Is that like a fousey Vitali thing?
Yeah, I don't know. All the inner drama, like the dramatics, I don't know. It's weird because anytime you fucking zoom out, like at the end of all this, when there's this like imaginary giant reunion of like YouTubers and streamers, people will think fondly of each other, I feel like. You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah.
Like nothing's really ever as big as like we think it is. You know what I mean? Like in the grand scheme, it's like, wait, we were kind of always on the same team doing the same shit. We're like the same person. You know what I mean? It's weird to fucking hate each other.
I'm just trying to wrap my head around how Aiden Ross earned $100 million. What did he do?
So he was quite simply just the biggest streamer at a time where Twitch removed gambling off of their platform, and Stake makes fucking Stake richer than God. They make $20-30 million a day, right? Like an ungodly amount of money. And their biggest way to market was always streamers and Twitch, and then Twitch removed it. So it's obviously like a huge fucking red alert probably at the Stake offices. They have enough money to do whatever the fuck they want. They said, fuck Twitch, we'll make our own Twitch, and we'll go and sign the biggest streamers by any means necessary. So yeah, $100 million, you know, by our measure is fucking retarded. But for them, it's, you know, it's 3-4 days work, and then they have Aiden Ross locked in for 2 years, whatever it was, you know?
So it's gambling.
Yeah, what state companies market $3 billion?
Yeah. It's an incredible world that we live in, bro.
Yeah, it's wild.
And at the end of the day, man, what matters is
peace of mind,
being a good guy and doing the right
thing. For sure, it does.
Like that's kind of where I'm at, man. It's like, all right, let me just double down, recommit to recovery, like figure out like what would a good guy do, you know, like, and
yeah, I feel like being a good person is super slept on in 2024. I really do, but I think it really does always comes back to that.
Yeah,
I think it is a blessing and a curse for someone like Aiden to make that much money that quick, because it does put things in a fucking mega perspective too. You know, I'm really grateful to be able to have that in my own life's experience, where like, you know, it's easy to fucking to shift blame onto an infinite number of things when your life sucks, when you're like broke and like nobody knows who you are and you have nothing going for you. It's like, it's almost kind of like a comfort to be able to, when I have the money and when I have the girl and when I have the house and when I have a fucking job, like things will be better.
Right.
Like my life sucks right now because of X, Y, and Z, but then like fast forward, you're in fucking a mansion in the Hollywood Hills and you have a fucking supermodel in your bed and she calls you her boyfriend and your bathroom's bigger than the house you grew up in and fucking millions of people love you and you're looking out at this view that you always dreamt of and you always said, once I have that, it'll be good, and you're more sad and you're more down than you've ever been. Like that's where it's like, whoa, like this life thing is a little bit more complicated than I thought it was, and I'm just grateful to have learned that at an earlier age.
It's so true, dude. And I think that anybody who's ever achieved like real success or wealth will say that they were happier before they achieved that. And that's like probably just a surefire way to rub everybody the wrong way to say that. But
it's true though.
It comes down to this saying that I heard, which it just messed me up when I heard it. The guy who has nothing only has to worry about his next meal. But the guy who has everything has to worry about his last meal.
Yeah.
And that literally just paints the picture of like, it's so gnarly because like once you've become successful, like put together some wealth, then it's just the question is, well, do I have enough to last until I'm 80, you know? And like, and you can never confidently say that's going to work. But if you can just, it comes back to one day at a time.
Yeah.
One day at a time. Like today, we're just doing Monday. We're doing Monday and
we're off to a good start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're right, man. Life is, in a lot of ways, more simple. It's actually not that complicated, and
I don't think it's that complicated at all. I think it really boils down to purpose, passion, and like you said, being a good person. I think being a good person is so slept on. It's insane.
I agree.
Good people live good lives. It's a thing. It's a thing.
I'm on the health and wellness, man.
I've been trying, man. I've been fucking trying. I lost 50 pounds in the last
Holy crap.
Yeah, I was getting fucking fat. I was looking crazy, man. I was like, my face was all fucking swollen.
Was that like the early sobriety weight?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. I was already not great. And then you shut everything else off and it's like, I need fucking McDonald's.
I got chubby, dude.
Something, yeah, I need something.
I've been like a lung.
But it's really been one day at a time. that rock bottom, I just remember thinking like, oh my God, especially when I lost my dad. Like I just remember thinking like, oh my God, this is actually as low as it could ever possibly get for me. And like, if I allow myself to get any lower than this, I really might not make it. Like I might just die. Like I don't know what it looks like, but this feels about as close to nothing, death, bottom as it ever could. So I should probably fucking try to start inching my way back up. And I just remember thinking every day, like I have my legs and and it sounds cliche and a little corny, but gratitude also is another really big thing. And again, back to just one day at a time and just like, all right, reset, deep breath, zoom out. Is it really that bad? Like I have my fucking legs, I have my eyesight, like my fucking lights in my house work. I have fucking water. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I can stay sober today. You know? And
they say that you should turn your focus away from getting what you want and towards wanting what you have.
I love that. Yeah. The what you want shit is just forever fleeting. It's like clothes and jewelry and fucking collectibles, like whatever you could want, like you'll never ever get enough of it. So.
For sure. Dude, I want to cut you loose, but I'm dying to ask you about 5150.
Yeah, no,
had the psych ward experience.
I did.
Where was that at?
I was at the house, the original Faze New York house, and I wasn't sleeping a lot. I was fucking. It was right around the right age that something like that would happen. I was 24, I think, at the time, and my life had kind of suddenly like really like shifted in a huge way. I remember like this was kind of right around the time where I didn't have to keep explaining myself on like what I was doing, like my family back home. Like people were like starting to kind of come around to the fact that, oh my God, these kids are fucking doing something. Like what they're doing,
right. Okay.
This is big. Like this is gonna be
so
big.
right when your shit popped.
Yeah, where it started popping. We were spending a lot of time in Europe. One of the fucking first people that came in and like helped us set up Faze as a business and like whispered us sweet nothings. And this was a guy who like was specifically like interested in me too. And like I would spend a lot of time with this guy, and he was like, again, I never had fucking 2 pennies to rub together. So now I have this fucking millionaire Norwegian like tech mogul guy telling me like you're gonna be fucking ultra wealthy. I want to make sure that you're super rich and like you're really talented, and this fucking Faze thing is gonna be really, really big. And I'm spending time in Norway and fucking Germany and hearing other languages and staying awake for fucking days on end. And like I had a girlfriend at that time, and that was weird. I don't know. It was just really like it was the perfect storm of things to happen for my brain to break. And it broke. And yeah, the other Faze guys are like young kids, you know what I mean? Like they never seen anything like that. I probably scared the shit out of them. So I fucking got my ass bounced back to Boston. And I thought that was rock bottom.
What was scary to the kids? Was it like
I've always been a fucking psycho. So I grew up again with my dad and my brothers and stuff in Boston. Like our solution to everything was to fight each other. You know what I mean? Like me and my little brother had a problem, or me and my older brother had a problem, we'd fight about it. You know what I mean? Physically fight about it. And if we couldn't fucking figure it out, my dad would come out and fucking whoop our ass. If shit was getting out of hand, he'd come and fucking, lay it down. And it wasn't like abnormal for me to just for us to fucking throw hands at each other. So when I move into this house with a bunch of other boys, like I think that this is normal, you know what I mean? So when I come to a disagreement with a kid who I'm living with, one of my fucking Faze boys, I get really ultra aggressive and fucking loud and crazy. And this is a fucking kid who comes from like a nice, wholesome home and fucking, upper middle class and like never saw some shit like that. And is like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And 5 minutes later, I'm good. I'm like, we're good. Like, you're my brother. You're my boy. You know what I mean? Dap it up and fucking carry on. But for them, it's in the back of their head like, this dude's a fucking psycho. Like, you know what I mean?
And there's all kinds of substances in the mix too.
No, not at that time, really. No.
So you got locked
Not
up in
really.
a psychiatric ward sober?
No, that toward the end of it, I discovered Adderall and really what Adderall could do to my brain. And again, I kind of like dancing on that manic line and staying awake for days on end.
Adderall gets you into psychosis.
There was some of that. There was some caffeine stuff. Or just staying awake,
Okay.
trying to break my brain almost. Like I didn't know that was gonna be the result of it, but like, yeah, not doing myself any favors.
Wow, dude. Steak. Like, I'm looking at the screen.
Billions.
It's not just a big player; it's a giant.
Yeah,
It's really wild.
they're the biggest.
Man, there's so much we could talk about with just how crazy the world is. I've related.
It's starting to feel like it's
so
coming
much.
back around though. No, 2024.
What, the pendulum swinging the other way?
That's a joke, right?
No,
I think it's going. I think it's getting back to normal.
I feel like just even like pop culture and stuff. I feel like I don't know, like music and like the internet. Like I don't know, maybe it's just the way that I view life and kind of like my experience and like what I do on a day to day. But like I don't know, like during COVID, I just remember like it sounds stupid, but just even music and like content and stuff, things just felt like they were dragging along, and now people are starting to. It feels more like the creative juices are flowing, and like I don't know, we're like it feels reminiscent to me of like 2016, 2017, which for me were like the golden days of like it was the best period of my life.
I mean, you create your own reality, so
Yeah.
you're right.
Yeah.
And then if somebody thinks that it's going down the shitter, they're right.
Yeah.
It's whatever.
Also, crypto's back up, so that's another.
It's crypto
personal-
summer.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Oof. Well, yeah, dude. What shit do you want to promote, man?
I don't really have anything to promote, to be
Dude,
honest
epic.
with you. Yeah. I don't really have anything to promote. The Faze shit's cool. I appreciate all the support over the last fucking 12, 13 years. and more specifically the last 2-3 months. It definitely wasn't fun coming off the gate, getting called a retard and getting told that I was fucking something up. And, you know, in a short period of time, I think people are starting to see like kind of the vision and fucking with it. And I'm more grateful for that than anything.
Well, dude, congrats on your sobriety, dude. Congrats on everything, man.
Good luck on your surgery today.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Big surgery. Big
thank you for
gnarly
this,
surgery.
man. I
Of
really
course.
appreciate it.
Thank
dude.
you. It's very humbling too. Yeah, I mean, you're one of fucking 3-4 people that I would do this with.
Well, that means a lot,
the goat.
man. I know that you don't do podcasts, and I recognize this as a big deal, and it's an honor.
I'm glad that we waited till now and didn't do it
Yeah.
before too, because it was This is.
I can
this is
imagine, dude. It sounds like it was a really rough time for you.
good. Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Well, hell yeah, dude. Thanks again. man.
Pleasure. Thank you guys.
Right on.
Yeah.
So much.
Yeah.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the great Faze Banks. I felt like that was a really good one. You know what? I also felt like last week was a really good one, the fousey episode. And it seems that not that many people saw it. So let me recommend for you last week's episode, fousey. I mean, that one was super inspiring and a great episode. So, yeah, anyway, I'm here in Tennessee. I'm just in it. I'm in it, man. I'm doing crash test dummy stuff. Like, it's scary. Okay, it's very scary. The crash test dummy, and I'm thinking that I'm revealing something here. I'm thinking that I'm actually gonna name my new tour Steve-O Super Dummy. Yeah. For a lot of reasons, I think that that's a killer name. And let me tell you that my tickets just went on sale for the fall tour, October, November, December. If you live in America, there's a good ass chance I'm coming to your city. So haul ass over to steveo.com and get your goddamn tickets, please. You're not gonna want to miss it because like the Super Dummy tour is gonna be a whole new level, man. A whole new level. And as always, I love you for sticking around to the very end. Thank you. And we'll see you next week. I love you guys.